Hello folks and welcome back. So I hope you're prepared for this one because it's likely going to be a long one. But let's set up our first quest. It'll be just a basic quest, a fetch quest, but we'll be able to talk to this guy. He'll ask us a question. We can answer it. And then when we come back, he'll ask if we have our potion, give it to him. Which right now I'm just using the mannequin for the test, but in ours we'll actually go get a character to use. So now that that's done, first thing that we want to do is go to this website called Mixamo. This is a great place to get free characters, animations, and all that. And instead of just packaging out a character for you to download, I thought I'd show you how to actually go get any character you want with any animation you want. So the character I'm going to be using for our quest guy is going to be this one, which he's on page 2. Knight D. Pellegrini, however you say that. So first you download their T-Pose base mesh. So I'm going to save that. And then I'll go over to the animations tab. The 3 I want writhing in pain. Saw up his kilt. I'm traumatized. So we'll download that. Save file, yes, do the same. Now I want to make him, after we hand him the potion, I'll make him stand up. Which one was it? This one? New? This one? That one looks good. So I'll download that one. Save. That one took a minute, I don't know why. And then we need just an idle animation for him to stand. That one looks good. That one looks close to where he was at anyway, so. Alright, we'll download that one. Save, yes. Then we need to go find where they were stored. And I'm going to move them all to my desktop so that we can, this one, open up our series. This is the one we're working on together. And in our blueprints folder, I'm going to right click, new folder for quests. Open that up, right click. One more new folder. Wounded man. So, and one more new folder just for the character components. So open that up, and then we can hit this import button. Go to our desktop where we stored everything. The first thing we want to import is just the character itself. None of the animations yet, because it needs to create a skeleton. So make sure it's like this, skeleton set to none, so that the engine can automatically generate the one attached to it. So import all. This will bring the character and all those materials in. That's fine, don't worry about that. One thing we do sometimes need to do with the Mixamo characters, sometimes they come in, they're kind of translucent, which actually he looks okay. But let's see. Yeah, we need to make it two-sided. So I'm going to open up the material, and over here in this little tab, I'm going to set it to two-sided. Now if yours did come in kind of translucent looking, you can go to the blend mode and change it to opaque. But mine was already like that, so I'm going to leave it. And that's pretty much all we got to do for that. So now I'll go back. Oh no, I don't want to click that button. Let's see. Where's the quests? Quests, wounded man. And then in this folder, I'll import all his animations. So import, and I'll get the writhing in pain, stand up, and idle. You can import all 3 of them at the same time. The skeleton you want to hook to the Knight D. Pellegrini, and you want to make it not import the mesh, just the animations. So we'll import all of those. Okay. And with that set, now we will right click, go to animation, and we need to create a little animation blueprint for the Knight D. Pellegrini. Wounded man underscore anim BP. And I'll open that up. We don't have to worry about like with the character we had to do like blend spaces and all that, but this one we won't have to. So I'll right click, create a state machine, and this is what will power each little animation state he'll be in. So I'll add a state. This is the first one he'll have, so I'll just call it pain. Makes me want to listen to 3 Days Grace. But let's see. Make sure you grab the mixamo.com version. This one right here, he'll just be in a T-pose. So we'll hook that up to his entry. We'll drag off, add a state called standing. Oop. Double click to open that up. Stand up mixamo. Back. Drag off again, add another state, just idle. And then we'll hook our idle one up. Now when we compile, it's going to give us an error because we don't have anything to tell it move from this animation to this animation. But we'll set that up in a sec. Actually, we can set this one up right now. So from our standing to idle, we're going to want to set it up with a ratio. So time remaining ratio off the return value is less than or equal to 0.01. And then when this animation gets to the end of it, it'll trigger the next one. For that, we want to make sure that our standing animation is set to not loop, though. So now in order to get this transition rule, we'll have to go set up our character. So out here, we're going to right click and create a blueprint class of a character called wounded man underscore BP. Open that up. For the mesh, we'll search for the, oh, he's right there, Knight. Drop him down, wait. Drop him down 90. If your snapping is off, you can just click that, turn it on or off. And I'll rotate him 90. Compile that. And for his animation blueprint, I'll set him up with the wounded man. So, in the begin play, we want to cast to, not third, our player. Whatever you got your player called, you want to cast to the player blueprint. Get the player character and promote that to a variable called player ref. Then we'll add a variable over here of a boolean called got potion question mark. Now in our wounded man and MVP, we're going to go to our event graph. We won't need a sequence, but I like to add them anyway just in case something changes. This will let you run a bunch of different checks off of the one thing. So what we're going to do is cast to, that's cat to, that's not going to work. Cast to wounded man BP, not the anim BP, and hook this, the try get pawn owner, to it. Then we will get got potion, and if it comes back as true, promote that to a variable called healed. Compile that, and in our state machine, we'll go to this transition rule and drag out healed, and that will allow him to go through the rest of the stuff. So now it'll compile right. Alright, now we got him in place. Why? Oh, that's just the mesh. Now let's figure out where we want to put him real quick. I'm gonna put him right over here. That'll work. Now in the Wounded Man blueprint, we want to go back to the viewport and add a sphere collision. You can name it whatever you want. I'm going to call it player detector. And I'm going to set it to about 150. That way it's a good radius around him. So now we need to set up our HUD element of our dialogue. So in our HUD elements, I'm going to right click and create a user interface of a widget blueprint called quest, not screen, quest dialogue screen. Because we'll add a quest tree or quest screen later on to where we can track what we're doing. But for now, we'll just open this one up. I'm going to drag out an image. I'm going to anchor it to the top. Set the left offset to 0 and the right offset to 0 and the position to 0. Set the size 250 looks good. And the color and opacity straight up black with 0.5 for the alpha. Give it a nice see-through look. Now I'll drag out a text block and I'll just kind of scale it to where I want the text to be able to appear. I don't want to take it all the way to the top or else it'll be right against the top of the screen. Somewhere around there probably looks good. So I'm going to set the size to 30 and the typeface to italic, the justification to align to center. Oops. Now we need to bind the text to a variable. So we'll go to our content, text, bind, create a binding. And we will create a variable over here called dialogue text, which we will set to a text. Then we'll just drag that out and hook it straight in. Now we need to add a few animations so it doesn't just pop on the screen. It'll kind of fade in and fade out. So we want to, down here in the bottom left, click animation, call the first one fade in, and the next one fade out. So click the fade in and we'll go to this green track button, and we'll, right at the top, what you've got selected is what it'll add. So you have to select the one you want, go to the track, and add it. Now we don't want these to immediately appear, so under behavior we're going to set its render opacity to 0. And same thing with the text. Now in our timeline for our fade in animation, we want to click the track, set one for the render opacity on both of them, and since we have it set to 0 over here, it should automatically default to 0, if not, just 0. Now we'll go about half a second in and set it to 1 so that it'll just kind of fade over half a second in. Now we'll do the same for fade out. You can actually just kind of reverse the fade in animation. I like having separate ones, just a personal preference I guess. So I'm going to do the same thing, add a track for the text and another track for the image. Then we'll add a render opacity to both of them. Now with this one, at the beginning we want it to be at 1. And then at the 0.5 mark, we'll set it to 0 so that it fades out. So we'll compile that real quick. Something else. We need to add 2 buttons, which will scroll up, and we'll set them to be about 75 by 70, 100 by 50, 150 by 75. Yeah, 150 by 75 looks good. And I'll add a text block to it. For the first one, I will set it yes. Then I'll duplicate, drag it over close to it, and change the text to no. Now, same thing with these, we want their default render opacity down under behavior to be 0. We'll add one more animation track called reveal buttons. That way when we get ready we can actually call out, oh, we're about to answer a question, we better make it to where they can. So under the reveal buttons, we'll add a track for each button. There's the other one. If you can't find them over here, you can always just go through here from the hierarchy. I'll add the track for the other button. And render opacity again. So we want it defaulted to 0, and at 0.5, go to 1. So I'm actually going to only make the 1 this time. I'll show you how you can set it up to use 2 different animations or use the same one and reverse it. So that way you can pick the method you like best and use that from then on. So that's pretty much all we need right now on this side. So in the graph, we want to add one more variable called choice made question mark and make that a boolean. And one more, which is just yes. Compile. So on the buttons, which one was yes? The top one was yes. So we'll select it, go to its onClicked event, and onClicked we will set yes to true. And for the other one we'll add an onClicked. Copy this. We don't really have to set it, but I'm going to set it to false anyway, just because uniformity. And then we will set choice made to true, add a delay with a D and a left click for half a second, and then set choice made back to false. Because when we select our button, our wounded man is going to be checking for when this is set, and that'll fire off his next blueprints. So with that done, we can get started with him. So in our wounded man, we want to go to his class settings and add the interface for our interaction. So we'll add interact BPI. Now in his event, we will add in that event. What is it? What do we call it? Add event hit. No, any damage. Tick. Interact. Oh, okay. It is interact. That's not the right. Oh, pff, helps if we compile. Hold up, wait a minute. Interactable, interact. It is interact. Why isn't it popping up? Interact. Oh, event interact. It is popping up. I just didn't scroll up. If you can't find it, just scroll up. I don't know why it pops up with that one first. You want to go to the event interact. Ugh, okay. So now we need to add a few things in here. Namely, a boolean can interact question mark. We'll get that. You want to default that one to true. Branch. And hook that up. And off the true, then you want to set it to false so that you can't call this multiple times. That way you can be in control more of how often the screen pops up. Now we will do a switch on int. Drag off of our selection and promote it to a variable called quest progress, I guess. Because we'll update this and then fire off our next dialogue trees based on what it says. So off of 0, as in we've never talked to this person before, let's get all actors with tag. We will drag out our player reference, and the tag we want to look for is alive. So for each loop, for each of the actors it finds out that has the tag, we want to find out if it is overlapping. Let's drag off the player reference and get enemy detector. It'll be at the bottom. And we'll drag this back, and off the enemy detector is overlapping actor. We'll hook our array element to this, and then a branch. So for every actor it has that has the alive tag, it'll find out if it's overlapping the actor. And for each one, we'll add it to a little list of enemies in range. And we'll make that an integer. We'll drag that out. We will set it. Actually, no, let's not do it that way. For each one, we'll just add it to an array. So add, drag off, and we'll promote it to a variable called enemies in range. And for everyone that's not overlapping, we will remove item from that array. Kind of like the way we did our fast travel system in the last one. Then we want to get enemies in range. Actually, from back here. Get the length. Oh, not get length, just length. Equals 0. And we'll add a branch right here. Off the completed, we'll hook that to here and hook that condition up. And if it does its search and doesn't add any enemies in the array, so it equals to 0, then we will create widget. We will add it. We will create our quest dialog screen, and the owning player will be get player controller. Now we will set the dialog text. Let's see, what do we need? What do you can make them say whatever you want. I'm gonna make them say, help. I need a potion. So I'll hook that up right there. Compile that. Let's go to our quest dialog screen real quick. And in the event graph, oops, we'll delete everything but the event construct. Over in your variables, we'll drag out our fade in animation and set it to play play that animation when it first spawns. So over here, help, I need a potion. Pretty much should be everything we need for that. So then we'll add to viewport, because we can't just create the widget, we also have to tell it what we want it to say and then add it to the viewport. And then we'll delay for a few seconds, maybe just 1 second, and then we'll set can interact back to true, and we'll set our quest progress up a point. so that it'll fire off the next one next time we press the button. Now what we want to do for the next one, we'll get an isValid node. Oh, one thing I forgot. Let's drag all this way a little bit, and off of our create dialog screen widget, we want to promote that to a variable called quest screen. That way we don't have to cast every single time. We can just pull out this reference, update our dialog, and get our animations and such. So we'll do that. Compile. Drag out our quest screen so that we can see if it is valid. Grab our one, hook it to our executable, or execute line, whatever you want to call it. I'll drag this down a little bit, and if it is valid, let's see. We want to, off of our quest screen reference, get fade out. Drag off of it, do a play animation. And if it is valid, we'll play that animation of fade out. Gotta hook our quest screen up to the target. Then we'll delay for half a second so that the entire animation can play. Drag out our quest screen. Set dialog text. And what I want to set it to this time is, what did they say last time? Help, I need a health potion. Help, I need a potion. Will you bring me one? Question mark. Then off of our quest screen, we'll get our fade in animation. Off of it, we'll play it. Again, we have to hook our quest screen to the target. Okay. Will you bring me one? Play that. Delay. Half a second. Grab out our quest screen again. I know it gets tedious, but it makes it feel better. I don't know how to explain it. Then we'll get our reveal buttons animation, and we will play it. Hook our quest screen to there. Now what we need, what is that? Okay. Sorry. Now we need to get our player controller, because we're going to update their ability to be able to like interact with it. So from here we want to set input mode to UI only. The widget we want to focus on is the quest screen, so we'll drag that out and hook that up. And then we will set show mouse cursor. And we will set that to true. Actually move this up. Just make it tidy a little bit. Now we will add a branch. Grab out our quest screen and get choice made question mark. That way it can tell whether or not our character has pushed a button yet. If it's false, then we want to add a re-triggerable delay for every 0.1 second, which will loop right back into itself. So I'm going to add a reroute node just to make it a little bit nicer looking. So if they haven't made a choice yet, it'll just continue to check to see if they are, or if they have. And if it has, then we will add a branch again. Grab our quest screen again. Move it back a little bit. Get our yes. And then we will react accordingly based on this. So if they say no, and this is still false, then we want to grab our quest screen again. Fade out. Play animation. Hook it to the target. Hook our false there. delay for half a second. Grab out our quest screen again, set the dialogue text to "I'll die without it. Please, please reconsider, ... And then with this one, we'll do a delay for about 3 seconds. Grab our quest screen one more time. Fade out. Play animation. Hook it up. Quest screen to target. Delay for 0.5. Grab our quest screen one more time. I know it's tedious and a lot of stuff. And then we'll remove from parent. And set that we can interact again. So that when we come back and try again. Alright. I know that's a lot, but let's test it out just real quick. Oh, I should move her closer. So, move her in closer. Help, I need a potion. Will you bring me one? No. What happened there? What did I set up? I set up it was no, right? No. False, fade out. Set it to fade, I'll die with that one. So yeah, it should. One thing we do want to do real quick is right after our check to see, we want to get our player controller again. Set input mode, game only, and set show mouse cursor back to false. And then we want to call the rest of it. So now let's try it again. So, help, I need a potion. Will you bring me one? No, you're lost. Why is it doing it that way? Oh, because I'm a fool. Disconnect the delay. Back this thing up. No. That's a fade out and that's a fade out. My bad. Move all this way. Fade in. Play animation. It would help if we made it, fade back in after we update. Then we want to set our delay for 3 seconds. Play the fade out. Then remove from parent. Okay. That should have it. But as far as our reveal buttons, we want to undo that as well. So I'm going to grab this, Control C, go all the way over here. I'm going to grab everything and just move it this way a little bit. Control V. Play animation reverse. Hook that there, hook that there. And then hit that. Help, I need a potion. Will you bring me one? No. I'll die without it. Please reconsider. Now it's working. Okay. Now if we run back up, and try to interact with him again, because it's already been updated, it doesn't add it back to the viewport. So let's fix that. we'll add a branch right here with a B and a left click. We'll control drag this over to it. Then we want to grab out our quest screen, and off of it say is in viewport. And if true, then we want to just run through like normal. If false, then we want to grab out our quest screen, add to viewport, and then run through all this. So let's try it out real quick. Help, I need a potion. Will you bring me one? No, don't have to tell. I'll die without it. Please reconsider. Okay. Will you bring me one? No. Okay. So there's a delay before it sets. Okay, so we'll copy this, Control C, Control V. And we'll hook the false to the set the text for our quest screen, and then we'll add it to viewport. And it's getting messy again. Let's just grab everything, move it this way a little bit, grab this, move it back, grab this and move it up. I know it's convoluted and kind of probably a messy quest system, but it works decently. And I like, personally, I like the ones where you interact with it. Push a button to advance text. So now let's test it one more time. Did you bring me one? No. That is reconsidering. Yeah, let me talk to you again. Will you bring me one? Why did it jump in and jump out? Okay, we don't need to check that. We need to drop this out because it's adding it to viewport, which makes it want to construct itself and play the fade in, but then it's immediately trying to play the fade out. So we'll just skip that one. Let's see. We'll just go all the way to the delay. So skip all the way past the fade in animation. And that should have it set. Test this one more time. Help, I need a potion. Will you bring me one? No. Die without it. Guess you don't die. Oh wait, I've reconsidered. Will you bring me one? No. And then we can feed through again. Cool. Alright, now it's working. So, if our character says yes, then we want to do something different. But also similar. So we'll grab all of this all the way up to our reverse animation, Control C and Control V it, hook it to our true side. Then we can actually grab this too. So Control C, Control V, hook that up. And we'll grab, you can just pretty much grab a lot of this actually. Control C, Control V. We'll change the text this time, since he said yes, or since she said yes rather. We'll say, thank you. I'll wait here for you to return. Now I can't forget that we gotta make sure we got all of these. Control C, grab that. That's fading out, so we want to grab our fade in. And then play animation. Hook our quest target to it. Delay 3 seconds as well. Grab this, Control C and Control V to hook it up. Ba-ba. Then we can grab all this, Control C, Control V, set that just like that, Now the only thing we want to do different for this one is we want to grab out our quest progress and set it to the next line, which will be 2. Boy. 2. Compile. Alright, now let's test it out. Help, I need a potion. Will you bring me one? Yes. Thank you. I'll wait here for you to return. Now when we run back up, it shouldn't do anything when we try to interact with it, because we don't have our next line set up. So we want to go back into our blueprint. We'll copy this, Control-C, Control-V. Drag 2 down, hook it to it. Now, grab our quest screen down, set dialogue. If it is in the viewport, then we'll just set the dialogue. Actually, let's do it ahead. So before we even check anything, we'll set the dialogue, just to make sure that no matter what, it's set to the right thing. Do you have it? Question mark. So if it is in the viewport, then we'll just play animation. Of the fade in. If it's not, then we want to add to viewport and set that underneath. I'm gonna drag out another get quest screen, hook it there. It's just getting a little messy. We'll do it that way. Get rid of that. Drag that back a little bit, hook that there. We'll add a delay, and then we can hook both of these back into it. So 0.5. Then we'll drag out our quest screen again. Reveal buttons. Play animation. Hook our quest screen to the target. From here, now we need to get player controller. Set input mode UI only. Hook that there. The widget we want to focus on is our quest screen, so we'll drag it out and hook it there. Now we need to set show mouse cursor to true. Hook that up like that. Then we'll, just like earlier, let's just double check real quick. Set show mouse cursor, branch. Okay. So we'll add a branch. Quest screen, get choice made, question mark. On the false, we'll add a retriggerable delay for half a second. From the completed, bring it back into itself. I'm just going to do it like this time. And on true, then we want to get player controller, set input mode back to game only, set show mouse cursor, because we need to disable it because we're no longer inputting anything. Set it back to false. Then we need to drag out our player reference and see if they even have a potion. So we need to get health potions and find out if it's greater than or equal to 1. Then we'll add a branch and hook it up. If it's not, let's see. If it's not greater than or equal to 1, then we will grab out our quest screen again. Set dialog text. You don't have it? Question mark. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Now we need to drag this down. We'll get our fade in animation and we shall play that. So play animation. Hook that up. Hook that up. Drag it in place. And then we will set, then we'll delay for 3 seconds. Nope. Quest screen, fade out, play animation, hook that there, quest screen there, delay for half a second. Quest screen, remove from parent. And then set that we can interact again. So that we can double check it. Okay, alright. I know it's a lot. I am sorry. I hope this one's not going on too long. So let's check them out real quick. Help, I need a potion. Will you bring me one? Yes. Thank you. I'll wait here for you to return. How many potions are there? None. Sweet. Alright. Do you have it? Yes. If you don't have it, I'm gonna die. You might. We'll find out. One thing I forgot is down here after we click our button, then we want to get our quest screen, reveal buttons, and play that animation in reverse. So we'll hook that here, hook that there, right before the branch where we check to see how many potions our character has. That way they fade off. Okay, so now if our character does have a potion, then we want to copy this. Control C, Control V. We'll hook that up like that. And we'll set it to say, thank you. I feel much better! Exclamation point. Then we'll fade in and we will set that our character got a potion. Yeah, which will affect his anim BP and make him stand up. Which, let's just double check that real quick. Got potion healed, okay. Healed, make sure you're not looping. You are not. Good deal. Alright, so let's just test that out all real quick. Full screen for a second, because I need to craft the potion. Alright. Help, I need a potion. Will you bring me one? Yes. I'll wait here for you to return. Okay. Do you have it? Yes. Thank you, I feel much better. And now he's standing up. He kind of jumped out a little weird though. But there we go. Sweet. Well, we're not done yet, but he's actually doing what he's supposed to. So, now we want to, what do we want to do now? We want to get our quest screen. We want to do a short delay for half a second. No, wait. Probably about 2 seconds, give the player time to read it. Then we'll do a fade out. Play animation. Hook our quest screen to the target. So it fades out, delay 0.5 seconds. Drag out our quest screen again. Set dialog text. I know where they came from. They came from the kingdom to the east on the Isle of Latmer. I don't know. Just making up something. You can put it whatever you want. I'm going to copy that. You want to copy whatever your longest text is and take it to your quest dialog screen. And I'm going to fade this in real quick. Go to my text block. Then set our text to that. It actually fits. But if it doesn't, if it starts going off screen, you can auto wrap the text and then just basically scroll this up until it looks the way you like. So I like that a little bit better than the other way anyway, so I'm gonna leave it like that. So compile that. This will automatically be updated in our thing, so we don't have to worry about it. So then off here, I'm gonna get our fade in animation. Play animation. Hook our quest screen to it. Add a delay. Point. No. 3 seconds. And then we can pretty much grab all of this, except for that. Control C. You don't want the delay. You don't want to double your delays. Then we'll hook it right here. Control V to paste it in. Put it like that. Can interact again, and we'll set our quest progress. What were we on 2? So now this will be 3. Woo! That's a lot, isn't it? So now what we can do for our last one is just grab all of this. Control C, Control V. Just change the text to thank you again. Hook this. Oh wait, did we add a pin? Add a pin for 3. Drag it down to our set dialog. After this, we'll add a delay of about 3 seconds. And then we can just go to the end. And grab everything, just everything. Control C, Control V, hook that like that. I doubled the delays after I said you don't need to. Okay, delete that one. Hook that, and hook that. And we can delete that one. And that, I do believe, will be everything except for one thing I forgot, which is we want to set that we actually gave them a potion. Thank you. I'll wait for here to return. Let's see. Thank you. I feel much better. Okay, so that's this one. Since character probably won't be checking their menu the entire time, we'll just add it to the end right here. So get player reference, set health potions, and we will get health potions, and then subtract 1. Good deal. Alright. That should be it. So, help, I need a potion. Will you bring me one? Yes. Thank you. I'll wait for your return. I don't have any right now, so let's check what happens if I say yes. If you don't have it, I'm gonna die. Good deal. Alright, now we test again. Do you have it? No. If you don't have it, I'm gonna die. Good deal. Alright, do you have it? Yes. Oh wait, right. I gotta craft one. Okay. Now let's try one more time. Do you have it? Yes. know where they came from. They came from the east. Thank you again. Thank you again. Sweet. Awesome. I know this video went on kind of long, but some of the game dev stuff does. So, I hope you at least found it interesting, and I hope I didn't confuse you too much or anything like that. I know my way is kind of a little convoluted and... Whew, look at all that. Oh, one more thing we need to test is just to make sure that it can't open it when there's knights around. So I'll add one or two, screw it, I don't care. I'll just add one. One will be enough. So patrol point 1, just so I don't get that error. Oh, he can run here. Can't interact. Ooh. Still can't interact with him. Alright, let's figure out why. Get all actors with tag alive. Remove it. Let's change that to enemy. And find out has tag alive. Off this, we'll just put an and boolean, hook that up, and then, because our knight should be dying, and taking that tag away each time. Okay. Help, I need a potion. Let's just make sure. Can't do nothing. Still can't do nothing. Why not? What is our knight doing? Why is he messing things up? Why are you throwing a wrench in the works, bro? So if it is overlapping our enemy detector and has tag of alive, then it'll add it to here. If it doesn't, then it removes it. Should be the same as our fast travel system. Let me check it real quick. Enemy is overlapping, has tag, false, removes it from that array. If the length is equal to 0, then it should carry on. Remove from the array. Refresh. 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 Oh, off our false, let's set can interact back to true. I think it was just not able to test it again. So let me get that knight's attention. I can chase us over here. Now I can't do nothing. Ooh, you almost got me. Alright, now let's check again. There it goes. It was just because we didn't. Okay. We can bring you on, yeah. Alright, so now that's working. So, I just forgot that once it checks if it is false, because there's more than one enemy in range, then we need to set that it can interact back to true, otherwise it won't be able to run through all our checks again. Which means it likely would have worked the other way. So let's find out real quick, just because I'm curious now. Get all actors with tag of alive. So I'm gonna run over. Can't interact. He did. No, I guess it is back to, okay. Oops. So we'll set it up the other way. So has tag of alive. And boom. Okay, now one more test. I know this one's going on pretty long now, I'm sorry. Can't do nothing. Kill him. And now we can. Okay. So that's what the problem was. We just had to... It wasn't registering that one again because we took its tag away and it couldn't pick him up. So you want to have it set to check for enemies with tag. Find out if it still has the tag of alive, and if it doesn't, then it removes it and checks through. But if there's anything in range, then you want to make sure that you set it back to can interact, otherwise you won't be able to run through your check again. Okay, all that's done, all that's situated, and that's a lot, isn't it? I see why not a lot of people do the quest tutorials, but it was fun, and I hope y'all found it useful. Maybe a way that you can start adding interactivity with other people in your game. So I hope y'all found that useful, and thanks for stopping by. Wait, let me double check. That is everything, right? Pretty sure that's everything. Alright, thanks for stopping by. Catch y'all later.